Yo! Hello to my movie mystics, my fellow movie mystics, and to those who identify as severe. Thanks for rocking with the pre show tonight for Mystic and Severe, the February 18th broadcast titled So You Wanna Work in Showbiz? So it's interviews with 5 people in production. However, it is 4 interviews. So I'm going to read actually my little write up for the broadcast, which you can find if you go to ckcufm.com, go to programs, and then scroll down to Mystic and Sphere. Or also, if you're on the homepage, it'll show you some. It says coming up on the air, and I'm the third. I'm the one on the right. So Mystic and Severe. So I'm clicking that, and then we go down here, and you listen to all the shows. But I'm reading this. So you want to work in showbiz. Interviews with 5 people in production. So I'm going to look at each piece of information in this write-up, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit, and then I'm going to split. And I'll talk about the tracks, too. So showbiz is what Mystic and Severe is all about. No doubt about that, am I right? All about movies, man. I'm a man. I like to think of myself as a Renaissance man, but Mystic and Severe does not do any of that. You don't see many sides of me. It's all movies, which is great. I like it. I mean, I can't do a variety show. I'm not capable of doing that. There are things I know a little bit. I know a lot about a little bit of different subjects, but I know a lot about movies. Let's be real. Movies is what I know the most about. So you just get movies, and I actually love it. I actually love tunnel visioning and spending so much time, preparing interviews, writing reviews, finding tracks. I love putting this show together. I love doing these streams. I love, hopping into this YouTube world. It's great. Because I'm not trying to overthrow capitalism or neoliberalism or whatever. I don't have to deal with that kind of stress. The movie's just awesome, man. It's like such an uncontroversial statement to make. So, you can hear Michelle Ouellette and Nicholas Carella wax on about the web series Paranormal Solutions Inc., which is true. That is when I said there's interviews with 5 people, but there's 4 interviews. Now you know. Join interview with Michelle and Nicholas. 2 Canadians. I believe West Coasters. I'm not quite sure where they're from. But I know they're Canadian. And I didn't see their show. I saw a bunch of takes or a bunch of scenes from various episodes. So what I got was like a 40-minute thing. But I don't know. Like, I don't think I've seen a full episode. But I have a good sense of what it is. And I review it. You will hear my thoughts on what I saw. And you can also sort of read between the lines about what I might think during the interview. That is often the case where I never really come out with it. I'll be more suggestive with my questions, whether I dislike or like something. You don't want to be fawning, and you don't want to be so aggressive. That's what I believe as an interviewer. I want to get the person to talk and explain themselves, and I will be suggestive and elicit some thoughts, but I don't want to come out and say your movie stinks or I love your movie. I've done that before, but not too often. I don't feel compelled enough to do that either way. For the first time actually ever last year, I watched a movie and told the publicist I'm not reviewing this because I could not get behind its the messaging towards women. It was too aggressive towards women, and I'm not gonna do it. So, anyways, Michelle Ouellette and Nicholas Carella, they're Canadians doing comedy, basically, I think, for the most part, and they talk about their careers, how they're doing it, but they're still working. It's not like they're not living the bougie life necessarily. They're really, hustling, and that's interesting because sometimes you think you're out or you're in, and it's not true. And then I talked to another Canadian who I think has, this is a really interesting interview, maybe um, the best interview that I have in this broadcast, with a guy named Reid Dunlop. And it's funny because he's a friend of a friend, and then I found out he's a friend of another friend because he lives in Chelsea. He lives quite close to Ottawa. And I'd heard of him over the years. He had a reputation to me, but I had never formally, I had never talked to him. And so I talked to him over Skype, and we had these weird tech issues. It was like we were doing Zoom, and I had my headphones plugged in, and he couldn't hear me. And then I was like, well, I'll go on Skype. I said that in the chat section. I go on Skype, he still can't hear me. I unplug the headphones, and then it works. But it's on Skype, and it's like the sound quality's not as good, and it kept popping, and it was weird. And that happened to me one time before I was interviewing somebody, and I was like, oh, God, this is going to sound horrible. And then I edited it, and it's like, well, oh, no, it's really, like, there are some bumps, but they cannot be fixed. However, this is not fatal. And that was the case with that interview. From the technical point of view, on the substance, I thought it was really cool. Because he's an AD, he's an assistant director. He's not like Mr. Limelight. He's not like a lead actor or director or you don't see a lot of documentaries about ADs. But he's got, he's worked with Brie Larson and Denis Villeneuve, two names right there. Like he's been in the game. He's been on the set. Like he knows the score, man. So that was really interesting. If you're interested in like the Carnival like crew side of things, like you want to do crew, you want to be in production. Reed's got like the rawness for you. He's got the truth, man, in this interview, and I really, really liked it. I really enjoyed doing it. I learned a lot from him, and yeah, good guy. Also, I just realized something. This is, for all my live streams, I've been wearing a hat. Like there are some hats that I can't reach, but like this hat, I wear this hat often. But I'm not wearing a hat today because I got a haircut, man. I finally got a haircut. Ontario or Ottawa's barbers have been shut down for like 6 weeks. Man's needed a haircut 6 weeks ago. My hair was messed up, man. That's why I was wearing those hats. So I'm liking the fresh shave. I feel a lot more comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's got nothing to do with the show, but you're watching me, so it's got to do with the stream, man. And then we talk about Lapsus. I reviewed the movie, and I talked to the director, Noah Hutton, and I wrote Lapsus Rocks. So I don't know if I said that explicitly in the interview. I just said that I don't typically do that sort of thing, but here it is in the write-up. So maybe you shouldn't listen to anything I say. But Lapsus is a cool movie. I liked it, and I compare it to The Lobster. I say it's like the cozier lobster. And you really should watch it. It's a really cool movie. And one thing that was kind of interesting is it was going to play South by Southwest last year. And the thing is, South by Southwest was like the first festival that got cut. It went all digital, and they were freaking out because people were like, they were going to go. Like everything was set. Like, people's premiere was gonna happen there, and it's weird. I've been talking to some directors about the festival circuit and the future of the festival circuit, and I think I might have. It didn't dawn on me at the time. Obviously, it didn't dawn on me 6 months later, or even 9 months later. But I think now that I covered the last major in-person film festival like ever, and I'm not like it's just, it was totally coincidental. But I've talked to some directors, and I think, based on these conversations, that film festivals, the circuit will come back, but it will not be the same. It's very congested. It's bad for the environment. And, the studios have found a way, or film producers have found a way to release the movie with less hassle than the red carpet treatment and all the swanning and the bougie affairs. And I think it's kind of done. When I covered TIFF in person and when I did Berlin in person, I think I was really at the end of an era. I think that's kind of finished, and that's kind of nuts because I was getting used to it and it started to become comfortable. But now I really think it's over. So he talks about what it was like to get the call in the grocery store parking lot, learning that South by Southwest not going down. He's not going to get his big, premiere. That being said, you can watch it on Film Movement Plus. It's streaming now. And speaking of South by Southwest, I am covering that this digital version of South by Southwest in 2021. The festival is happening March 15th to the 20th, I believe, or 16th to the 20th, 15th to the 19th, something like that. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But I've been heading up Publicis and doing the rounds, and because I don't know if you know this or you don't, but basically what happens is I get a lot of emails from Publicis during the festival or not during the festival. I get emails from Publicis saying, I got a project. They give you a little write up. Hopefully, there's a nice picture, a good caption, a good title line for the email. Because often I don't know anything about this project or the people involved, so it's going to captivate me, and then I'll bite or I won't, and that's that. But during the festival, like when I did TIFF in person in 2018, 2019, and 2017 too. Excuse me. My email just blows up. I get so many interviews, and I want to do like everything. And right now I'm at that stage where I'm just like, yes, please sign me up. And oh boy, if I'm not gonna get into it now. I'm not gonna start talking about other projects, but there's some exciting things around the corner potentially. Most certainly and potentially. And also on that note, I'm not accredited for the Berlinale this year. Oh well. But I am talking to Publicis still, and some stuff's going to happen. Actually, a fair amount's going to happen, I think. So, yeah, I'm not going to talk about future broadcasts. We're going to stick with this one. So, anyways, lapses. And then my final guest, Susan Stern, who made a documentary about her late husband and underground comic book artist Spain Rodriguez. The doc is called Bad Attitude, the Art of Spain Rodriguez. So, yeah, that was cool, too, because here's someone who's going to be in her 60s, I want to guess. An older lady, and Bay Area located, or based, sorry, Bay Area based. So she lives in San Francisco. And, that's kind of an interesting period of time. The 60s and 70s in San Francisco. That's a period of time I'm very interested in. And so someone who was around that, saw the sights, smelled the smells, even if it's like underground comic books, and that's like not necessarily the thing I'm most excited about in that period of time, in that geography, but hey, it's still cool, and it's a fun documentary. It's 70 minutes too. You kind of dip in, you dip out, it's over. So it's not a big time commitment. You don't have to know anything about it. It's just entertaining. It's just a good story. There's like different perspectives, which is sort of interesting. It could be a little confusing as a viewer, but it's not bad. And it's a nice conversation. It's different. What's kind of great is you have Michelle and Nicholas, who are younger, as well as Noah Hutton, who is younger. He's we're all born in the 80s, us four. And then you have Reid and Susan, who were born in the 50s and 60s, which, so you get a balance, you get a generational balance, and that's kind of nice. I started with Nicholas and Michelle. They're the young, and then Reid, who's older, and then Noah, who's younger, and then I am with Susan, who's older. So that's kind of, I didn't want to do too young, too old, or one young, too old, one young. I wanted it kind of breaking up like they go back and forth, a little zigzag. That's what I was thinking. So yeah, Bad Attitude is cool. And then the documentary played at some Slamdance Festival. The documentary played at Slamdance Film Festival. Yeah, Bad Attitude played at Slamdance. So that's an LA festival. That I'm pretty sure it came and went digitally. I could be wrong though. I don't really know. I didn't apply for accreditation, but I got hit up actually by these people, the Bad Attitude people. It's the same people actually, the same publicist who arranged that did the last one. Did an interview on the last broadcast. It was with I'm hopping around here. Barack Barkin. I'm sorry. The guy who made the movie Silence and Darkness. So that's a fact. And yeah, and I'm doing another interview at Slamdance that I'm not going to talk about right now. I haven't recorded it yet, but I've seen the movie, but I'm not going to bring it up right now. I watch a lot of movies, man. I don't want to get too distracted here. So Slamdance, I mentioned Slamdance, and then there was also a review of A Glitch in the Matrix, which is Rodney Asher's latest that is now available and just played at the Sundance Film Festival. Slamdance to Sundance. So, A Glitch in the Matrix is pretty cool. It's actually really cool. It's definitely the best documentary I've seen this year. It could be the best film I've seen this year too. So Rodney Asher, if you don't know, directed Room 237, which people have very strong opinions about. It's usually you like it or you don't. I really like it. I think the people are a little far-fetched, to be generous. But I love the readings of The Shining, the conspiracy theories, and all the weird stuff. And I find beyond just like showing people who are strange or far-fetched, as I just said, there's a very unnerving feeling throughout A Glitch in the Matrix and Room 237. A Glitch in the Matrix is pretty scary, actually. I want to get down to it. It's about simulation theory, the idea that, we're like some avatar and some celestial alien is playing us in an arcade in some dimension that's either close or far, whatever. I don't give credence to it. But I enjoyed it. Like, it doesn't matter that I don't agree with the simulation theory. I thought it's like I have my own thoughts about that. Like, I think I actually talk about this with Michelle and Nicholas because their show is about basically mocking the people who believe in the paranormal. I don't actually take that position. I actually think that's understandable, but also sort of misses the point. I think people are hurting, and I think people will go to weird things and believe in weird things, and I think history shows that. So, A Glitch in the Matrix, the people that they talk to who believe in this are interviewed in Avatar. So, that says something about them, and I think, yeah, basically, people are drawn to extreme things or dark things because they're hurting. They're hurting. What is it? Anger or just veiled pain, I think delusion is maybe the cousin of that or the brother of that. So, yeah, this movie is crazy with the cyberpunk imagery, and it plays like a documentary looking at some pseudo-intellectual or maybe psychological disorder. Yeah, it isn't like call it. It doesn't like poop on these people like that. That's my wording. But then, in my opinion, it really becomes like a horror movie, especially near the end. with that killer who killed his parents and was obsessed with the Matrix, and he kind of made an argument in court saying that the Matrix made him kill his parents. So there's a scene where he recalls that night, and they sort of reenact it with sort of lo-fi. When I say lo-fi, I mean like intentionally poorly designed imagery or recreating of the scene, and it's like it's immensely disturbing. It's incredibly disturbing. So if you like horror movies, watch A Glitch in the Matrix for sure. So I'm very passionate about that. And then the other two movies I review that are not like attached to the interviews are the Viggo Mortensen's directorial debut, Falling, as well as France's submission to the Oscars, Two of Us. So a bit on that. I'll start with the good. I like Two of Us. I like it. And I talk about why I like it, but why I don't love it, and what that means. And my thoughts about that being France's submission to the Oscars. So you get that in my review. And then Fallen, I really don't like. I don't need to see a story about a cantankerous homophobe. I don't feel that's a necessary story to tell, and I'm not interested. And I don't think a white audience is interested either. I think we're kind of past that. That's my opinion. And then finally, the music that ties the show together is from John Carpenter's recent album, Lost Themes 3, Alive After Death. Shit. So, I have a prop I'm going to bring out. This is John Carpenter's Lost Themes on vinyl. Pretty cool, huh? And I've played this on some different broadcasts. I'm gonna just hop over and dig them up. I was gonna do this earlier, but I forgot. So, I played it on the first time I played it. The first time it was on the My World premiere, the very first Mystic and Severe, I think. Was it? Did I though? No. Oh, I did. Oh my god. But did I have the album in? I must have. So I played off the very first Mystic and Severe, August 23rd, 2018. That's hilarious. And then I played it on. I must have. 1 second. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then I want to make sure. Yeah. Then I played it on the November 1st, 2018 broadcast, the Ultimate Spooky Halloween Edition, classic and new John Carpenter sounds. This is when the show was really soundtrack oriented. And my other show was more interview and review oriented. But then fast forward to 2019. Where is this? It's gonna be like October. Yeah. Halloween. TIFF coverage gets weird with Midnight Madness, Red Carpet interview Robert Aaron Mitchell, as well as spooky and trippy directors Galdar Gastello Urruti, Orson Baram, Justin Benson, and Aaron Moorhead. Yeah. And then I finished the album there. So there it is. Lost Themes. Big fan of this album, man. I'm taking out the sleeve. We're doing the whole thing. Ooh, that's a great picture. Hoo 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 hoo. So, I'm a huge John Carpenter fan. I'm not even going to take the records out. Screw it. But this album rocks, man. Oh, it's so cool. This album is amazing. And then part 2 grew on me, but is not nearly as good as this. And it's the same with 3. 3 is like, this is as serious as I can't tell you how much I love this album. But 3 is like 2 level, where I like it and I think about it often. I'll hum the songs, it'll get stuck in my head, but not like this one, man. There are moments in this album, this is going to be one of my favorite albums, dude. Definitely one of my favorite newer albums. So to jam out to Lost Themes 3 was loads of fun. And I sort of, I don't know, how many tracks did I play off of it? I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tracks, okay. So I played 2 tracks off Lost Themes 3 back in, I know, this is awful. I should have this dug up earlier. No. It was like September, maybe? Let me see. Yes! I played a little bit of Lost Themes 2 and 3 together. There were 2 tracks that were released. Skeleton and Unclean Spirit. And the new one, I kick it off with Alive After Death before my interview with Nicholas and Michelle. Then I play The Dead Walk for Reid Dunlop. And then I have, I don't even mention this in the write-up, I have reviews for Severin and Vinegar Syndrome DVDs. So, the last 2 broadcasts, I reviewed the Blu-rays I got from Vinegar Syndrome and Severin. This time it's the DVDs I got. So before that, I played the song Dead Eyes by John Carpenter. Then I play, after those reviews, it's supposed to segue into like the second half. Each whatever. Long story short, I had to get like 2 minutes of time. So I put in, and no track on Lost Themes 3 is that short. So I just threw in Love at a Distance off the Prince of Darkness soundtrack. And what's cool about that is that was the last movie I saw by John Carpenter, and it played at the Mayfair Theater. And the Mayfair is coming back. So you go under advisement, but it's kind of, that was sort of the shout out. And then Carpathian Darkness, I think that's how you say it. That plays before Noah, Cemetery before Susan, and then I play out the show to Vampire's Touch and Dripping Blood. So the reviews are just sort of interspersed. There's 7 other reviews. There's like 3 reviews attached to the interviews, and then there are 7 other reviews sort of sprinkled throughout the broadcast. A lot of great tracks by John Carpenter. I'm not sure to understand that album. I just freaking love this one. Lost Themes, man. Ooh, bum. So you get John Carpenter's newest stuff. You get 4 solid interviews, 7 reviews. What more do you want from me? I know it was sort of like, to be honest with you, like the Christmas broadcast, the New Year's broadcast, it was slowing down because, dude, nobody wants to talk. It's Christmas time. People have children and stuff. But now, Mystic and Sphere's back. We're getting back into it, man. It's very exciting. Thank you for enjoying this live stream, the pre-show to So You Want to Work in Showbiz on CKCU-FM, which is streaming at midnight EST. I'm out. Take care, guys.